Discover the natural power of ashwagandha, an ancient herb known for its healing properties. For over 3,000 years, ashwagandha has been trusted to reduce stress, increase energy, and improve focus. Our ashwagandha is carefully grown, harvested, and processed to retain its maximum potency. Each root is hand-picked and dried, then ground into a pure organic powder, ensuring the highest quality. Simply mix 1 teaspoon into your favorite beverage or take it in capsule form as prescribed by a healthcare professional. Whether you're looking to balance your stress levels, boost your immune system, or enhance mental clarity, ashwagandha offers a natural solution. Experience the benefits of ancient wisdom backed by modern science. Trust nature. Trust ashwagandha. Go get this product at blackhotfirenetwork.com at the Sports and Nutrition Store.
Mr. Police, ni hongo nataka. I am too tipsy kujibu mashtaka. Usini handle kama de wangara. Isa fenanana sema unachotaka. Mr. Police, please, nakuomba release on my knees, I'm begging you. I don't want no trouble, me sina drama, sina za macho, hizi ni za chama. I don't want no trouble, me sina drama, sina za macho, hizi ni za chama. Nihurumie, bingu ni mwekse, nihurumie, umi ni mwekse, nihurumie, bingu ni mwekse, naogopa juu naona pilipili, na kuogopa na naomba usiniteke, juu ya mwili na mangumi na mateke, senke, toroka manjeke. Wewe, unazozwa na veve, ni peremende, na si zangu, na sishikilia tu ni za mwenzangu, akisikudanganyi, kisu zangu, akisikudanganyi, please, nakuomba release on my knees, I'm begging you, I don't want no trouble, no. Me sina drama, no. Sina za macho, hizi ni za chama. I don't want no trouble.
Yes, good afternoon, Grand Rising. Hope you guys are doing amazing this wonderful Thursday morning. It is exactly 2 minutes past. Right here in the 254, a cold, super wonderful evening, afternoon, literally. It's actually a cold, it's been a cold morning, a lot of shivers, and of course, a lot of mud, but also good vibes. Hope you're doing amazing. Karibuni sana to the Black Hot Fire Network radio station. This is the middle of the 21st century. In case you're here for the first time, we are on Black Hot Fire Network 2. The other channel got a strike, so we shall be here. In case you've not subscribed to this backup channel, ensure you do so. In case you have gotten the link from the WhatsApp, so kindly do subscribe, because we shall be here for a minute before we have our strikes taken down. To everyone live with us on Rumble, as usual, and Beach, hope you guys are doing great on the radio. And to those who shall be catching this on Spreaker and Spotify, karibuni sana once again. We shall be talking about the African leaders, and of course, always been involved in wars that don't concern them. And this shall be taking us back literally to what we saw, or our African leaders reacted to Ukraine-Russia invasion. And we're seeing right now also how they've already started to react on the Iran-Israel war as well. Does this literally concern us as Africa, or should we be focused more on the continental problems that we have as a continent? Because there's war going on in other countries. Why won't leaders talk about what is happening in Congo, Sudan, Somali, which is part of my conversation for the day? We have Mozambique, where kidnappings are happening. What is happening in Nigeria? There is actually right now mass killings of the so-called religious people. Why won't African leaders talk about that? In Kenya, we had 12 people killed yesterday, and so on. Why won't we talk about what is really concerning us as a continent? Where's our focus? Where's the focus of the so-called African leaders? The so-called African leaders, because they are the leaders of this continent of Africa. You're supposed to be more focused on What is affecting us? Not other people. So long as our economy is not affected in any single way and all that, that is what we should be concerned about. But that is not only the main conversation. Shall be talking about, of course, what happened yesterday in the 254. As I have said, we have 12 people have been reported killed, 400 injured. Earlier today, they were saying about 8 people were killed, but more information coming out. The total number so far is 12 people, including a child. Shout out to Kamlesh coming in with some news and reports who was hit with a rubber bullet. We also have President Museveni, of course, who led me to talk about this, is of course calling out or breaking his silence on Israel-Iran war. We'll be expanding much on that. As we talk about Somali, why won't you mention about this? Since Trump got into power, the US strikes on Somali have actually doubled since last year. So we shall be checking deeper on that and then see where we have at least 120 children who have been abducted by the Al-Shabaab. We know when we go deeper who the Al-Shabaab are. This is in the northern parts of Mozambique, and we're talking about children. So kindly do go back and do the research about the Boko Haram and how they kidnapped massive number of children. They were students by then. Most of them who have been returned that was in 2022, 2023, have come back as mothers. Most of them were married to these so-called Al-Shabaab groups, and others still have never been able to trace their way back home. So we're talking about children. This is something that should be very much more focused on by the African leaders, calling on matters of security and how we can actually forcefully measure them. But as we come back, of course, after a break of the amazing supplements you can get on our platform, I'd love to talk about also some amazing culturals that actually Africans are still much involved in. We're talking about 5 African traditional that are still traditionals and culture that are still very active and thrive in Africa. Talking about the Maasai, the Dogon Cliff. We also have the Omo tribes, and also we have the Zulu. So stay connected, and then we shall be letting you know much deeper about this. But for now, as you download our app, get yourself some brain and focus so you can focus.
Unlock your full potential with Brain and Focus, a powerful supplement designed to boost mental clarity, enhance memory, and sharpen concentration. Made from a blend of scientifically proven ingredients like ginkgo biloba, omega-3, and essential vitamins, Brain and Focus is crafted to fuel your mind. Our process ensures maximum potency and effectiveness, delivering the perfect balance of brain-boosting nutrients. Take just 1 capsule daily, as prescribed by your healthcare provider, and feel the difference. Whether it's powering through your workday or staying sharp in life's challenges, Brain and Focus keeps you at the top of your game. Stay sharp, stay focused, and stay ahead with Brain and Focus. Brain and Focus, fuel your mind, achieve more. Go get this product at blackhotfirenetwork.com at the Sports and Nutrition Store.
We have many more amazing supplements, very organic and of course very, very affordable. So ensure you have the application. If this is your first time either on Rumble, BitChute, on YouTube, kindly do to go to the Google Play Store, download our app. Black Hot Fire Network is the name. Once you have the application, you have 3 lines on your upper left. Click on that, and of course from there you'll be guided literally, and through the application you get to listen to us also via the radio. So in case you're not able to stream live on YouTube every single time, so long as you're connected to the internet, once you log in on the Black Hot Fire Network once, you can do other things on your phone. Just click once and just do other things on your phone, and you'll be tuned in throughout the whole day, so long as you're connected to the internet. And then you rush to the BHFN sports page. That's where you get these amazing supplements. Like I said, it's not just the Brain and Focus. We have CMOS, we have Moringa Pure. This one I've been seeking Moringa organic products. We have some beetroot, we have some ashwagandha, we have multivitamin, we have CMOS, turmeric gummy bears, we have beauty supplements, we have organic coffee. So kindly ensure you guys rush there and check them out and see what you'd actually love to get for yourself, your family, or a friend. It's good to also package this as a gift also to your friend. It would be something really nice, because number one, you're talking about organic, and also who wouldn't want to receive something organic, especially if you've been looking for it and then a friend brings it to you? It would be literally amazing. But as we speak about organic, we still have some organic cultures and traditions that are still thriving in Africa today. I remember that was last week or on Monday. I did mention something about the Maasai community and how this is the only group I'd say personally, as in Kenya, this is the only group I've seen that have still been able to maintain and have stuck throughout through their cultures and traditions. And I mean cultures and tradition, are talking about their ways of dressing, their ways of carrying themselves, because today the world is so modernized, so westernized, if I could say so. uh, people are no longer People no longer actually even know much about cultures and traditions, and which also has been sort of I'd say evolized by the white people, where we've been taught to embrace more of what is Western, and to leave and abandon what is more of our culture and tradition, what we used to actually embrace and value a lot. So, talking about the Maasai community, I'm just going to share five for today and a few videos of them as you get to understand deeper sense of where they're coming from. What do they really do? Personally, I've seen the Maasai, especially here. In this particular region we stay, in this county we stay, where we've set up our studio, the Maasai community are really a lot. And because I'd say because of the land heritage, which is also in big capacity right here in Rongai, I've seen the Maasai community still actually thrive, embrace their cultures. Again, like I said, through their attire is one of it. They still believe in traditional ways of healing. This is the only group and community you'll bump into them selling the organic medical herbs. Some of them are not organic because understand also there's been a lot of westernization, which also has led us to lose track of what really even organic is. So we just if you bump into some medicines or hear someone talking about some shit, because we live also in a world which is so all about money. People are just mixing things to just go sell and make a living and put ugali in their table. But shout out to the Maasai community. We have the Maasai community who have their adornments in Kenya. So I want to share a quick video on that to see what they really are all about, for you to understand what I'm really talking about. I want to combine the video and the article as I get to break it down on who they really are.
Welcome to 5-Minute Culture, where we explore the rich and diverse
I don't want a long minute culture because if we go deeper, it will go deeper and deeper. So 5-minute culture, just understand something a little bit about it. I wish I could find an African elaborating this, but sadly it's a white person. But white people mostly, again, this is something. Shout out to the Maasai community again. These are still the group of people I'd say still much involved in the wildlife attraction. I don't know if it really makes sense. It's the only group actually mostly employed in the wildlife conservation. Okay, these are the people you'll find welcoming the tourist. And right now we've been talking about how the so-called Manyata houses, the mud hut houses, are right now the most expensive resorts if you come to most of the African countries. So this is coming still from the Maasai community. Okay, the Maasai community. These mud huts, for us, we used to call them Manyata house. Then they call them Manyata houses. I don't know about other ethnical groups, but for me, I still call it a Manyata house or a mud hut, because a mud hut, that is how the white people literally came up with the term. But normally, how we used to study it, huts, a house built on the mud and with all those types of grass, it's Manyata houses. But today, when I say that the most expensive resort, this is because of the Maasai community.
Cultures from around the world. Today, we're diving into the vibrant culture of the Maasai tribe, one of Africa's most iconic communities. The Maasai people inhabit the vast plains of southern Kenya and northern Tanzania, known for their
Exactly, because do remember we do border, of course, with Tanzania, Uganda. I don't know if there are Maasai community in Uganda. I'm not sure. I'd really love to know that. That would be really something interesting to know. I don't know if you really have Maasai community in Uganda. Yeah, that would be something interesting to do. They're there? Oh, Iwaton says they're there. Okay, that's something that would be really, really interesting. I'd love to see culture, if it's the same and everything, but because we all come from the same region and we're all the same people, I bet it should be the same. But originally, literally, the Maasai border from, that is Tanzania and Kenya widely. This is the Tanganyika region, and of course the border of Tanzania and Kenya, which is the Tanganyika region, which we're seeing today. Samia Suluhu and the white people are chasing this community out because these are community that highly believe still in heritage of land. Heritage of land where it's passed from generations to generation. There's no scarcity of land in this community called the Maasai community. These are people who still believe in living in abundance of land, to be specific, if I'm not really wrong. So shout out to them.
Distinctive customs, dress, and lifestyle. The Maasai have preserved their traditions despite the pressures of modernization. The heart of Maasai culture lies in their social structure. The community is organized into age sets, where individuals of similar ages undergo life stages together. From warriors to elders, each stage comes with specific roles and responsibilities.
Exactly, and that used to be a cultural thing all throughout all the ethnical groups. It was not just about the Maasai community. Personally, I remember growing up when it came to girls, due to cultures and traditions, there are things you're going to stop doing. There are things you're going to be said to be doing. There's a group of people you need to be working with. These lessons you need to, or classes you need to get into to be educated. You growing up into womanhood, or being a girl. Also to men, there are roles you're going to be given now because you're growing to being a man. And this is a role of where you're being taught you're going to be one day be the leader of this particular compound. So when you talk about compound, this is what we're saying out there's no, if you were to go back then, there was no scarcity of land. Okay, so you're going to protect this community, understanding you're being raised to be a leader as a man. So those are exactly what it's trying to explain and break down, where every man in particular age, there were roles given. There's some things you could do, there were things you couldn't do, and that used to be for every ethnicity. It was not about the Maasai or what, but today things have completely changed.
Ensuring a cohesive and supportive society. One of the most striking aspects of Maasai culture is their traditional dress. The bright red shuka cloth, adorned with intricate beadwork, is more than just clothing. It's a symbol of their identity and heritage. The Maasai believe that red scares away lions, adding a practical aspect to their attire. Cattle are central to Maasai life, symbolizing wealth, status, and sustenance. The Maasai diet predominantly consists of milk, meat, and blood from their cattle, a practice rooted in their deep connection to these animals.
Exactly. Remember, these are the things we were being told our ancestors were bad for doing these kind of things. No, you just had to understand the deeper sense of what you're doing.
Cattle also play a crucial role in ceremonies and rituals. Speaking of rituals, Maasai ceremonies are elaborate and significant. From the Unodo ceremony, which marks the transition of warriors to junior elders, to the Inkapata initiation, which signifies the coming of age.
Yeah.
These rituals strengthen community bonds and pass down traditions. The Maasai are also known for their unique dance and music. The Adumu, or jumping dance,
Yeah, they have a unique dance, and this is the same dance I'd say, since it's the only culture and tradition that is still very widely embraced. Right here in Kenya, you'd find this is the only community actually in the airport welcoming our guests, welcoming people from all parts of the world. These are the people you'll find them dancing there, with those Maasai attires and all that. So yeah.
The captivating performance where young warriors leap into the air, showcasing their strength and agility. Accompanied by rhythmic chants and songs, these dances are a vital expression of Maasai culture. Despite the encroachment of modern life, the Maasai have managed to maintain their cultural integrity. Efforts are ongoing to balance tradition with progress, ensuring that future generations continue to cherish and uphold their heritage. Thank you for joining us.
Exactly. So that is the Maasai community. I didn't literally expect us to last longer on that, but I think we're going to last a little bit longer on this. Secondly, we have the Dogon, cliff dwelling, and Dama dances. This is a community that is these are culture and tradition and within a community that dwells in Mali. So I want to share a quick video on that so we can understand deeper on it, because understand this is actually, when you talk about the dances, we have white people, the tourists, let me say that the tourists paying lots of money to come and experience this culture and tradition. So let me share this very quickly. See, it's like an almost an acrobatic, almost impossible dog and dance from the village of Teriteli in Mali. Is what white people called witchcraft. And sadly, let me say this actually, because I remember the first time I saw this kind of an acrobatic dance. I was very young. This was the first time actually I remember the study of HIV and AIDS was brought in our school. And that's when I was so scared of the Eve song of Who's That Girl, because the song was playing on the background. So that was the first time I saw this kind of acrobatic dance. And it's nice. This is why history is so important, to learn and understand where this is coming from. Because I used to ask myself, where is this really coming from? I understand it's all African, cultural, based, but I didn't know the origin of it. So this means this acrobatic type of dance literally originates from Mali, but it has also been embraced all throughout the continent, or it was embraced all throughout the continent, because it is still very active today, where actually people have to pay, again, lots of funds to enjoy this kind of acrobatic dance, because I tend to understand what it really takes them to be on those sticks for hours. It's crazy. Also amazing. Shout out to Jiba Jaba, Sister Michelle. Good morning to you. I didn't expect you guys to join me, but yeah, thank you. I think the link is working on the chat. Thank you so much. Shout out to Jiba Jaba, shout out to Jawa Mosquito, Sister Michelle, and to everyone who's listening also on these other platforms. Actually, I can't. Being honest, I tried. But Jabba, that's a good question, because it really, this reminds me of nothing but just my childhood. I can't, but I tried. There's how we used to take sticks and then you try walking with them, because it's not actually hard. You just need to practice more harder, and it will be applicable and look something very simple. You know, because for us we used to take sticks, then we chop them. That's how you chop them in a design, so you can have somewhere where you put in your leg as you walk, and you hold the stick as you walk like this. So it's a lot of practice, but I can't personally. I'll be lying. But I did try. I did put some applications when I was really young. You understand, the white people have called this all witchcraft. It is very spiritually based. The dances are not what we see today, twerking on, people are not twerking naked, people are not doing anything. It's all actually very, you can see it's very African themed, detailed type of dance. What you can see, we have, they are the same. Let me see this. Let me read. People use more than 80 masks depending on the celebration rituals. Different masks, and they are all spiritually based. How big that is. As we speak today, it remains one of the biggest dances in Africa, actually, very widely embraced. White people, like I said, there's an article I pulled some time back. I was to share this detail. I was to do a whole show on this. And they were saying white people pay a lot of money to come experience this kind of dances. It is one of the biggest dances, culture, and tradition that is still very embraced in Mali. So shout out to the Malians for keeping this, for holding on to this. so that is the Dogon cliff dwelling and Dama dances in Mali. We're talking about some of the 5 African cultures that are still very widely embraced. Actually, in Africa, embraced not widely. When I speak about widely, I mean in Africa still within the continent itself. I started with what is happening within the border of Kenya and Tanzania, where we have the Maasai community, which I did speak about on Monday or last week, but today I've explained it a little bit further. We have the Dogon, which is the second one, what you can see on your screen, a dance that is very much embraced in Mali. We have the Omo Valley tribes. This is in Ethiopia. Omo Valley tribes. Let's look at the Omo Valley tribes in Ethiopia. We see what they are all about. It's nice to know all this because I think just that with connecting the dots, you get to understand. You get to understand. Okay, you get to understand where all these things are coming from. So we have the Omo Valley, which has some sort of similarities to the Dogon dance. So for them, this is how they're walking. Is how we used to. This is how we used to walk. Exactly how they're walking. Yeah, and it's very easy. It's very easy. So this is the Omo Valley. You see why people there are always trying to film what they can to go benefit themselves and all that. Yeah, so we have the Omo Valley. I think that's the Omo Valley who they have a sort of same similarity. That is their walk, their way of walking. And I do remember, I think this was for, it was widely explained somewhere. They said this is for number one, especially when they are in the forest, it's easy to detect a lot. Um, I think I might have to do more research on the Omo Valley. Yeah, because they do have, you can see the sort of the same similarities to the Dogon community. The third one, we have the fourth one actually. We have I did speak about the Omo Valley. Yeah, the fourth one, which is last but not least, we have the Zulu reed dance. Let me share the Zulu reed dance very quickly as we get to continue, and then we get into the other conversation. We have the Zulu reed dance. Of course, this is from South Africa. Don't want a long video, I want a very short one. So let me share this. Okay.
Young women known as maidens. Every September in South Africa's KwaZulu-Natal province, young women known as maidens perform the so-called reed dance. One after the other, reed in hand, they sing and dance as they file past the king. This year's festival is special. It is the first since the pandemic, and there is a new monarch. September is our cultural month, so the reed ceremony is where we exercise our culture as Zulus. As maidens, we're going to fetch the reeds and present them before the king. The dance is an age-old annual ceremony in celebration of sexual purity and promotion of sexual abstinence among young girls. Among the Zulu, the umlanga is also a traditional rite of womanhood. During the ceremony, the king is also expected to pick a wife or wives.
Exactly.
As young women, we encourage each other to understand how to behave as women. We teach each other respect and everything else.
That's where when you go back to the Maasai community, when they talk about the age, there's an age gap you're gonna get to, and you'll have to be set with a certain age group for you to be taught different things, because either you're growing into being a woman or a man, you'll have to be taught how to present yourself as a woman. And this is why you'll see, actually, sadly, I kind of love the fact that there's been, I want to say westernization, or should I say modernization? I should say modernization more than westernization. I'd say I do love the fact that there's been or more advance of knowledge, right? More advance of knowledge within our people, especially in today's century, like me, okay? Because it's easy for you to say no into some cultures and traditions because some of them actually were wrong. Some of them were very much needed. Some of them actually played a very big role into making men be men, making women be women. But at the same time, I'd say some of them are so bad because, especially when it comes to women, it didn't favor them. For women, you'll find most of them, you'll have to stay at home because you're a girl, you won't be educated. You're being nurtured into being a wife, not being a woman, not being yourself a woman, not understanding who you are as a woman. But you find today we grow up understanding who we are. We have sense of self. We know what we want. We can say no to other things. We can say no to cultures and traditions. You can say no to early marriage. You can actually call out your parents if they're not taking you to school. You can report them. Yeah, it's totally different today, and that is one thing I do love. And that's why I do love that. And it's when you look at some people, it doesn't make sense to them how and why in today's generation people don't behave like the older generation. I'd say the older generation, there are things that were beneficial, but there are things that were not really beneficial. And you guys can agree to disagree. There's cultures and traditions, or maybe you guys, there were some things when you could see your parents doing, or even when you talk about music, we keep on talking about music, production of movies, the way it was, what was it we're promoting. But if you look at today, things are totally different. So there's been advantages of if you look at actually how we embraced who we were back then, but there's been also disadvantages of it, and there's been advantages of also trying to relearn right now, because we're relearning who we are right now, and learning. There's been actually disadvantages and disadvantages in both ends. But yeah, this is the Zulu, and that is literally the 5 cultural traditions that are still very active in Africa. And I hope you've learned something today on that. I had to share that before we get to move on. It didn't take much of the time that I expected, but it's also nice because, like I said, look at the Dogon Valley in Mali. It explains literally, for me, I've understood at least where this dance, where it came from, and why it is widely embraced in most of the African countries, like also right here in Kenya and other countries. So that is super, super nice. But yeah, I see Sister Michelle in the building. John Mosquito, karibu sana. Good rising to you too. Jiba Jaba karibu. He says, Joby, can you dance like that? No, I said I can't, but I did practice when I was young. Like you can see the Omo Valley in Ethiopia. That is what we were doing, not like the doggone dance. We used to do the Omo Valley one. That was what we used to do. And then we have Jiba also saying, cool, I think it is fascinating. It is. I think it is even fascinating to see that we share cultures and traditions. There's nothing that makes us different as African because it's all
Their
widely
cultures and tradition
spread.
because you're the same people.
It's
This shit's
all widely
crazy.
spread. It's all widely spread. Jerome Mosquito says, oh, Juba Juba says twerking is witchcraft. I know, that's what I'm saying. There's no, because look at now, why people say witchcraft was so spiritual, so calm. There's no twerking, there's no naked women, no naked men, no nigger bitch. There's nothing. It's all cool and cultural, very chill, just spiritually. You find it's even maybe some spiritual healing going on, or maybe some, they're trying to understand the universe and all that. I don't know, but it was all spiritually meant, not just you take off your clothes and you start twerking because a camera is. That's not what's happening. So, Karibu Sana, how are you doing today? How
Sunday
you
Santa, you're early today, ain't you, Joby? What's
Yeah,
that?
I did text you. I think you're snobbing my text, and that's okay. That's what's up.
I, I didn't see no text. I gotta look at it.
Yeah, I was like, I can hear you on the radio, but you're not talking to me because I had you on the show with Iwatan. I was like, it's okay. It's all good. It's all
I
what's
didn't hear
up.
you on the show. Yeah, I was on the show with Earton. Yeah,
No,
at the end.
yeah, he was on the show at the end when they were talking
Yeah,
about
yeah, yeah. I was
women.
at the end.
Yeah. But anyway, Jiba Jaba also says, now I see where the Chinese got their sandpan hat from. It's from Mali, exactly. And he also says, The guy with the little skits is cute. I know, like it's a child, and then he's just doing all that magical stuff. It's nice. John Mosquito says, doesn't that greedy king choose like two wives every year? Yeah, they said two wives. He can choose either a wife or wives. So it depends how greedy he can be. You know,
Who's
how
that? Is that who's what wife we talking about? Who we talking about?
that is in South Africa. We were sharing about the Zulu reed dances,
Oh,
which are
oh,
and
Zulu Natal. Okay, we
the,
talking about the Zulus.
yeah, the king has to choose a wife. Well, those women are dancing and presenting what they have to present to
Gee,
him. So
Eswatini, that little bitty country in South Africa, that dude's got like 16 wives.
that is the station. You find all of them are always young, not even educated. That's what I'm talking about, literally. That's what I'm
Those
saying.
don't get you. Those don't get you started when I said that. Go ahead.
No, because look at what I'm saying. Like look at the cultures and traditions. Like there's advantages of it. Advantages is number one. I'd say the advantages of it were mostly men being nurtured to be men. That was really applicable because there was no weaklings. There was no LGBTQ. This kind of nonsense you
Nah,
see in men wearing
that wasn't allowed.
no makeup, no nothing. Men were you're supposed to be a man because you are the next generation that is supposed to be taking care of this community of family. So you don't have
But
time to play around. You have to be a man. Present
well,
yourself as a man. And this is why you can
true.
understand. I love the fact how it explained and broke everything down because it connects all of us as Africans and what we are doing to
Well, I
become who
missed
we
it.
are.
I
You
missed
know,
it.
as a man, when it comes to a certain age group,
Good.
there's circumcision. Circumcision is why you're developing into a man. And as you develop into a man, there are roles you're gonna be given in the community to ensure that actually you can be fully a man. Like today in Kenya, in the western parts of Kenya, like my grandmother's part during circumcision it's so brutal. Let me share the circumcision in western. You see how bad it is. They beat you with mud, which is brutal, but it's to make you, there's no time to crying. You're growing up to be a man. There's no time to shed tears. Yes, men do cry, but when it's time for war, there's no time to cry, because this is what we're seeing today. Men are more crying than women. Today, men are more in the internet crying instead of them trying to figure out solutions, and you're the ones trying to figure out solutions. It is so crazy. It is so crazy. When you look at women, yes, women used to be nurtured to become either wives, and the disadvantage of it, when you look at these cultures and tradition, like I said, women are not taken to school. You're only later to be a wife. You don't have sense of self as a woman. All you have to do is say yes to your husband. You can't say no because you are a wife. In today's generation, things are different. As much as again, there's disadvantages of modernization, there's advantages of it. Today, women, we can say no to early marriage. We can say no to some BS type of cultures and traditions that do not actually favor us and destroy us as women. You can say no to a lot of crap.
We used to be able to do that in the ancient times too.
There's been advantages of having cultures and traditions. There's been disadvantages of it. There's been advantages of modernization and disadvantages of it. So it's a two-way. But let me share this very quickly before we continue. The Western culture, Kenya, Western culture, Kenya.
That's
Kenya.
only recently.
Look
To
at
go
the
European culture. The women had rights in ancient Africa. They wasn't forced to get married and all that kind of crazy shit.
sizing.
That's why you couldn't rule without a woman. And the lineage of king didn't go through the man; it went through the woman. It was the king's sister's son who became king.
Share this one very quickly. It's always some crazy videos, so you guys don't be shocked. It's just always crazy images of what is going on. Let me Number one, you're walked naked throughout the whole community so that they can see you naked because you're about to be circumcised to be a man. You have to stand there boldly. You see what
And circumcision started in Africa, not in Israel with no Bible. Uh-oh. Am I gone or is Joby gone? Okay,
Hey,
it's Joby.
sorry about that. Sorry about that. I don't know what I clicked, but sorry about that. Yeah, so that is one. That is the first one. If I share a more brutal one, I'll share actually on the WhatsApp because they're always so brutal, man. They are beaten with mud. They are walked around. It's like a walk of shame, which is just so crazy. But that is to make you, understand you are becoming a man. You're no longer a baby. So get ready to take care of the family in case your dad passes away, or in case you have the responsibility of taking care of your siblings. But as we get into the actual other news of what is happening
But
in the
beat
world,
me with mud supposed to make me responsible?
I don't know. Like, I don't know how to say it. It's culture and tradition. There were, because if you go back then, I don't know. In America, you guys have grown up in a soft way. It's don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. Like Simba,
um,
okay.
I know I got you, Joby. I'm not.
Yeah.
I didn't take it that way.
Yeah,
I
and
get you.
I'm not saying you guys don't go through hardships, or being black in America doesn't come with hardships, but there were not these cultures and traditions, and
That's
this
true.
mates applied on you guys. You
That's
had
true.
common sense, you had critical thinking. Our people here were left without critical thinking at some point. This is why you see FGM is still very active, female genital mutilation. But when it came to men, personally, because I used to see it and I really loved it because it feels good. Today it's so nice. There's something really, we even talk about it sometimes, as girls when it happens. It's so
What's
nice
that?
when you're around, or when you feel the presence of a masculine man. There's just something about that, feeling
Of course.
masculinity presence, someone just wanting to do things, being a
That's
man.
that's the natural. That's the natural pull. That's why men like masculine. I mean, women like masculine men, and men like feminine women. That's called that's the polarity. There's a polarity in that. That European societies try to destroy by trying to make the men feminine and the women masculine. Like, oh man, you're destroying the polarity here. Everything's about magnetism. We attract magnetically. So I'm attracted to your femininity. You're attracted to my masculinity. That's how it's supposed to work. We're different sides of the polarity.
Mm-hmm. It's true.
Everything has a polar opposite. So I don't want no masculine woman.
Of course, and I don't want no feminine man, of course. But
Exactly.
I don't want someone, when I'm looking for my earrings, they already have them on their head.
Right. Hey,
Right now,
hey, Joby, how does this look on me?
please. Like, I'm looking for my makeup, it's already gone. Like, I can't even, what the hell is going on here? Like, where's my blush?
Hey.
Where's my blush? You carried my blush? Like, this is crazy. Man, I got into Instagram, I think the other day, and man, it's
Yeah.
crazy. Man. Really, it's so sad. I saw a masculine, and you can see the masculinity. Okay, in the body, you just see the veins. The body is just so a man, but he has a thong on and some heels on and a bra. I'm like, what is going on? What in the Sussex Santana is happening here? It's like, what the
It's the destruction of the mind. That's what white supremacy it does.
this
It's
is
the
so
destruction of
sad.
the mind. The
It's
white
crazy.
man does never want you to be a man. That's why they call you a boy if you're a black man. Boy. You're never supposed to be a man because he's supposed to be the only man in his system.
I would have expected that this other race to fall for this BS, but it's crazy and sad to see the black community fell for this BS, not understanding what their agenda is weaken us, which they already have done even worse of weakening African people and the community and the families. Now you're going, they've already weakened you as a family. We're ensuring
Of
divorces
course.
are on and on. Marriage is impossible. Just having a long lasting marriage till death do you apart is very impossible. Children staying with their parents is also impossible because parents do not know good parenting. It's crazy, but just what we really have, especially as a black community. I would have
But you
literally
you
made sense
you're
if
living in a wicked system. So
it
you
was
don't
the
understand.
Latinos.
You don't understand the system, Joe, but you're gonna
I
the
do.
system with the system. I'm saying
Absolutely.
most people don't. Don't
Mm-hmm.
understand the system you're living in. The system's going to devalue you. It's made our women more materialistic. No, they don't care about that. But women say, you first day, where you take me on the first day? Oh, girl, no, we just chill and hang out. We go to the park and do some other things. This don't cost no money. What? What's money got to do with this? What are you talking about? See, what did women do before you introduced the fake paper money? Understand this? So you're dealing with European concepts again. You're not saying if a man can protect and provide for you and has good emotional intelligence. You're about, well, how much money is he making? How much? So you've got westernized standards that has never equated to a successful union. Europeans have never had successful union because their whole system's always been based in psychopathy. Africans, you've always had successful relationship with your women. Now you don't because you're based in their wicked psychopathic system,
Mm-hmm.
right? The system does not benefit us as African people because it's psychopathic and by nature. And so you've taken your man out of being a man, your women out of being women. You think you're in competition with each other. You think you're so Africa had it a little better, but it's coming in like Rubizato, keep this in Zimbabwe. See, I know it's here because the first thing was to destroy the black women because they want to destroy us as a community. That's why they did to the black woman here first, because you're the closest thing to the wicked empire in America. They put all these wicked schemes on the black woman here. That's just a fact, whether black women get mad or not. You were made to be destroyers of your own community, and you signed up for it. And now they're showing you they're breaking your back. They told you all this propaganda and lies, and now they come out. Now they breaking your back. They get rid of your public housing. They get rid of your food stamps. They get rid of your welfare money, and then they get rid of your jobs that you had. Oh, I got better jobs than my black man. I don't need no man. Now they're firing your ass because they've already allowed you for the last 50 years to destroy your own community. It's in ruin. You got child support on men who want to just be fathers. Their kid in prison. They let you be a wrecking ball. And you can't say no other woman's done it because you got different women in America. They didn't take their men to child support court and destroy their own community. You did that. So you can't say, yeah, you were propagandized, but you still went along with it willingly. And shout out to a lot of you black women in America who are waking up telling the truth. That's just a fact. They usually destroy you to burn down your own village. And you burned it down. And now once they burned it down, they don't need your black ass no more. So now they fire you from all your fake good jobs that you supposedly had. You're mostly well educated and all that nonsense shit. Now the white man know you destroyed your community. Like Joe said, your men are mostly homosexuals and weak. Because as a woman, you can't raise no man to be no man. So all the black men in America under 25 who haven't been raised by men, they're all weak and emotional and moron. So they can't lead no community. They can't lead no woman to raise no family because they're mostly all idiots. This is all planned out. Like Joby said, how they always plan. They plan everything. So you help destroy your own men. Now you're like, man, I can't even deal with these men. They all, like Joby said, they're all soft and weak and they're raised by your mama. Raised by your mama without no man.
No, not mine. Not mine. I'm raising a man as much as I'm being helped by men, and it doesn't matter. It's all masculine and all that. Because
All right.
you're gonna be acting weak in front of me, like actually protect me as you grow up being a man. Like, come on, please. But anyway, as we move on to the actual, so we have reports coming from yesterday. Of course, we did speak about what was happening yesterday throughout the day. The gunshots here got super, super serious. 3 people have been killed here
Yeah.
in Rwanda.
So I said you got home safely. I said you got home safely, right?
But it was so
Okay.
scary. The gunshots were like, we were walking like this. Well, like, you have to identify you're not a criminal. You are told to walk like this with our hands up. 6:50.
How'd you get? How'd you get on the boat and go home? You ride
I
with your hands up?
I didn't get no border border, so we were told if you walk in, we have to
Whoa! You walk? I was You walked all the way home through all that shit?
yeah. So I was just
Wow!
telling the crowd, just put your hands up, don't act like you're trying to fight back or you're trying to run. Just walk, putting your hands up. That's what's up, and they won't shoot at you.
That's
But
a
yeah.
long ass. It's a long ass walk to walk with your hands up, Joey.
I did, but until because the police station is literally near my path to go home, so there it
You
was a
have,
bit dark. Once I got there, I was like, cool, that's it. But in this other path, it was super, super dangerous. But yes, we have 12 people have been reported killed. I'm not sure of the actual number if it is 12, but in Rongai, we have 3 people. We have a child. Reports coming from Kamlesh who was hit with a rubber bullet just sitting on the balcony yesterday. We
damn.
have other people who are shot, of course, during the demonstration where police opened fire and, of course, killed other individuals. 400 people have been injured, and of course, this is in the anniversary of the Gen Z last year's protest. They're saying at least 12 people were
Protest.
killed and more than 400 others were wounded on Wednesday as the Gen Z's led marking the first anniversary of the 2024 anti-finance bill demonstration spiraled into the nationwide violence. Fatalities were reported in Nairobi, Ngara, Embakasi, Molo, Matu, Emali, Olkaulu, Ongata Bongai, Juja, and Kikuyu. And where the police reportedly opened fire on the protesters. And in Nairobi, 2 were shot dead, 1 in Ngara and another in Embakasi during the evening confrontations as police blocked the roads and clashed with the the police. So that is what was happening yesterday, and we're expecting, of course, probably more numbers might turn up because the media is also lying. Understand? Yesterday, the police also raided the mainstream medias because they
Shut it
refused to.
down.
Yeah, after they had ordered for them to stop broadcasting, they still continue to broadcast because who are you to tell us we're not going to keep on doing our job? And of course, the police officers immediately were ordered to raid those particular stations. So they were forced to shut down with the police
Wow.
presence. So dictatorship, literally. That's why people are saying these are
Yeah.
students of the second president of Kenya who was literally ruling Kenyans under
You
dictatorship.
live in a democracy, but they raid the news and shut it down. Yeah, what kind of democracy is this?
Yeah, there was no freedom of speech during Moi's time. People are not expressing themselves this way. People are not allowed to criticize the government. You are not allowed to question, and that's why he ruled, I think, for two years. Yeah, for no, not for 2 years, but for 2 decades.
Been
So
20 years, yeah, about 20 years.
yeah, so that is what Ruto is trying to do, but it's not gonna work. Ruto must go. Ruto, you have no time here. People, Kenyans are tired of you. Like the man said yesterday when we were discussing that this is not about the Gen Zs anymore. This is not about me as a Gen Z. This is about
Uh,
my parents. If my parent is not even feeling this heat, he must be a moron. Sorry to say, but it's the truth. If you're not feeling the heat of the economy, I don't know which life and world you're living in. If you're not feeling the heat of you buying, sugar, flour, you've been having to bargain transport before you alight a matatu, because that's something even people do. You have to bargain transport. Do you know how crazy? And so sometimes you look crazy in front of other people already in the matatu trying to bargain transport. But it's real. People bargain transport because probably you're thinking about probably your children at home, or maybe you have some bill spending. You don't want to pay 50 bob to where you can, and on the other days, like yesterday, I'm certain that people paid really crazy amount of transport. Like for how much did you pay normally for your boda boda yesterday? No extra, right? Oh, okay, yeah. Because yesterday I know people who paid people. Yeah, people were paying 300, which is not normal. 300, 300 for transport. That is crazy. I'm paying 300 for boda boda just to my house, just because they put restrictions. It's crazy, man. But we're not saying stop fighting for what you really want, for your rights, but we need to be, I don't know, 2027, we need to be very, very careful and very alert. That's all I can say. Because I think right now Kenyans understand elections are always rigged, especially with the patterns right now, the way they are being connected. We
But
saw
they
the
know, but they know
death.
now because they know he's hated. There's no,
Yes,
they know there's no way he's winning no national election. They know that.
mm-hmm. the death of the previous IEBC chairperson died under unknown circumstances. He was just reported ill short while then he died. And then during the midnight, Ruto appointed a new IEBC chairperson. I appointed a new IEBC chairperson. And now we have all the senators, all the cabinet secretaries, all the MPs on his side. He also killed the general, allegedly. Let me just say that, because we had the general who died last year on a chopper accident.
On a chopper accident, yeah, helicopter.
Of course, then that is the same thing. We're having a slight discussion yesterday with one of my lawyer friends talking about how that is how Museveni is smart. I don't know how Kagame does it, because he has appointed as his general, because Museveni has appointed his son as general.
Yeah, exactly. Remember last year, Kagame fired everybody that might overthrow his ass. Remember, he got rid of the whole military staff that were going to get him. He was always thinking that they were going to overthrow his ass. He got rid of all of them. Remember, put his own puppets in there to keep him safe. Because but he won 99%. He shouldn't have to be worried about firing everybody, because he know he didn't win. People too tired of his ass.
Was saying that is why he has the audacity to stand boldly, even despite not delivering anything to Ugandans for over the last 37 years. He still has the audacity with his old ass, to stand up and say, I want to another presidential seat, because his son is the general. You can't overthrow the son. The son makes the decision if the government can be overthrown or not.
That's called a banana republic, Joe. Not a real country. It's not a banana republic.
But it's sad to see also where Ugandans are at this point. 40 years of this.
They're impoverished.
Have been gone.
They use the same infrastructure that Idi Amin developed. Museveni has developed nothing.
It's a shame.
It's crazy.
I've been born. I'm 40. I have children. I have a wife. Museveni is still a president. And
right, you've been a president since you've been alive, and this country's still fucked up.
It's crazy, but he won't try to fix his country. He's more worried about Iran and Israel. This is Museveni. He's concerned about Iran and Israel. So he's breaking the silence. They're saying Ugandan President Yoweri Museveni has publicly blamed Iran, Israel, and Western powers for fueling the Israel-Iran conflict, outlining his position in 5-page letter released yesterday.
Listen, the Israelis call him a dumb Negro, and the Iranians call him a dumb Negro. It's the same like they went to Ukraine a couple of years ago. We want to talk. They said, no, go away, Negro. You people are morons. Don't bring your thoughts to our conflicts.
Exactly, because it's not the first time they have been insulted publicly by these white people who used to stay out of our issue. This is nothing concerning the Africans, and you still yet go there, ashame yourself, want to be a boot. This is the example of a bootlick for real.
Yeah, that's what Museveni's not respected nowhere in the world. He's a moron. So the Israelis like, well, shut the fuck up. Be quiet, go away. And if we need to come and throw you out of office, we'll do that. Keep your mouth shut when you got real powers fighting each other. You and your low-budget country, shut up. It's your poor-ass country. Be quiet. Shut your mouth. We're not asking for your counseling. You insane.
He happens to be one of the first African leaders on the continent to publicly comment on the ongoing conflict in the Middle East since the Israel first launched the missile on Iran.
And who cares?
Nobody cares. But it's sad because I was saying this is sad as a continent to see, even because
he's from a poor backward ass country, Joby. No one cares.
The fact we've been given fake governance and we don't understand the fake governance we've been given. This is why we always see if Uganda, Kenya makes us. This is none of my concern as a Kenyan, because that's Ugandan's president talking, okay? If Kenya talks about something, or if Ruto talks about, let's say, Skedi Tinubu says something about Nigeria, I should not be concerned. That is a problem about their country. That is governance mentality or political mentality being given. Let me say political mentality being given, but it really concerns
I
us
got
because it
that's
is
because you're African.
very keen, exactly, to be very keen of what these leaders say. Because what one says should be a very big effect on the rest of us. You are from this continent. If you are from the so-called African Union, which you know it's fake, don't question that. We know it's fake. Don't even go there. But if you're from
It's
the
fake.
so-called African Union, you're supposed to be working for Africans. Anything you say, you should understand affects all of us, not your people, not Ugandans.
I understand how a bootleg he's trying that's white mommy and daddy joke. You understand white people? He's trying to gain favor by check. Oh, let me get involved, white mommy, white daddy, so you pat me on the head. He's like you said. He's got that's house nigga behavior. He's a house nigga. That's why he's there. It's hard what he's doing. Master, is your house on fire? Israel, Iran, Master, your house on fire, Joby? Your house on. He seems like you say he's not worried about the house on fire in Uganda and poverty. Master, is your house on fire?
I wish we could. I wish I could. Let me see if I can find that video and share it again. Because this brother said it very well. We've had African leaders who not only are they a laughing stock to the rest of the world, but they have
Yeah,
made
that
us
was
a laughing stock. They have made because through them we are now a laughing stock. Okay,
yes.
you're supposed to go anywhere, start seeing a white person smiling and laughing stupidly. I'ma smack your mouth. What is so funny? What is so funny? You know, because if you go to them, approach them, they'll tell you confidently, you come from, like they say, you come
Uh,
from a shitty, poor country, you know, your
you're
leaders
right.
are pathetic, you run away from your problems, which is very true. We're running away from our problems, but who has created all these problems? The white
True.
people,
Of
these
course.
leaders that they are put here, of course, to loot and steal. That is the main reason why I'm in trouble and why I'm running away from my continent. Not because I really want to. So it's sad. Let me see if I can find that video of that brother. But before we get to
Go
move
ahead.
on,
Give me time.
it's noisy out there. I don't know what church is
I
happening.
see. Somebody got some noise. Somebody's praising hallelujah outside. Hallelujah.
We have at least 120 children who have been abducted by Al Shabaab in North
Uh,
Mozambique. So this is very, very
Al
alarming.
Shabaab. I always say, how did Al Shabaab go through Somali, go through Kenya, go through Tanzania, and now are in northern Mozambique? How did they get? You can't even get to the border if you'll be riding the bus. Hey, let me see your documents. Let me see your yellow fever card. Did the Al Shabaabs have yellow fever cards when they left northern Kenya and around Somali and went through Kenya, Tanzania, and the next country below Tanzania is Mozambique. Did they? Is that how they get to Mozambique? How they get there? That's how you know all this terrorist shit is sponsored by you know who, and they're only in northern Mozambique because you know what they found there? Oh, minerals. They found gas, oil, and diamonds in that region. So I just want to know how did Al Shabaab get from because there was no Mozambique is not an Islamic country, so they don't have Islam even in the country. So how did Al Shabaab go from northern Kenya, okay, northeast Kenya by the Somali border, down through Kenya, through Tanzania, and make it to Mozambique with all the weapons? How'd they do that? It's
Magically
a
appear.
mystery.
Let me say like my Rastafarian brothers from Jamaica, they magically appeared, okay? They magically
Yeah, yeah. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. Al Shabaab is now in Mozambique.
quickly as you
At
could
least
say.
120 children in northern Mozambique have been kidnapped by jihadist insurgent group Al Shabaab, international NGO Human Rights Watch said on Tuesday. The children are reportedly being used to transport stolen goods, perform forced labor, and in some cases serve as child soldiers or be
Because
forced
they know
into
the
marriage.
government's too weak. There's no real militaries in Africa. These governments are fake and fucked up. So shout out to Ibram Traore's been a real military. And so, Ibram, you're going to take over all of Africa. You're going to have to go, I tell you, you're going to unalive these Negroes. Because this shit here, this white people doing this. There was no Al Shabaab and no Mozambique until they found resources. And now they bringing these damn morons, these uneducated Islamists, into a country, and they'll have them predatory over children, women, and men. They must be a rat. I don't want to educate you. I'm wiping your ass out. I will say, well, he was young, he didn't know no better. Well, damn, he'll come back the next time knowing better because I'm putting a bullet in his motherfucking head. Okay? That's what's happening. I'm eradicating your ass.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so of course this is not the first time we're gonna be seeing this. Like you said, and to the video you even shared with me yesterday on my show, how that AI woman was saying,
That's right.
of circumstances, system they've created to ensure you're not gonna develop as a continent.
Not going to develop. Yep.
Continent, And one of the ways, like you said, is ensuring you don't have a strong military foundation or base, and which is throughout the whole continent. Because who can we call? Even right now, we can't fully rely on the Alliance Sahel state because they're not fully
up and developed. They're not fully developed yet. That's true.
Yeah.
Not up and developed yet.
Yeah, so
That's
we can't
true.
depend on each other. We can't go to Uganda. We can't go to Uganda. We can't go to Kagame. We can't go to none of these puppet leaders.
Those are all cool. Those are all puppets.
They can't. We can. The only thing we can call is their stomachs. That's the only thing that can turn and try maybe protect these bullets. The big stomach. The stomachs are really really big. Shout out to someone who was saying yesterday even on the demonstration. These people actually it was actually people who are screaming and shouting there. They're saying Ruto is very greedy. He's only made himself full, but not yet because we're not seeing the kitambi yet. We're not seeing the big stomach. We're not seeing the full stomach yet. But that is what he's doing. He's only feeding himself. He's greedy, and that is what they do. They only feed themselves. They get big as you stay thin, and you're talking about how equal this is of a government. Democracy should apply to everyone, but it's only applying to you, the president. Well, democracy actually applies to you. How you call the shots, how you apply the shots. That is how democracy applies. When you call the shots and apply the shots. But when we call the shots, it's a problem. Those are criminals. Those are people plotting on turning the government into whatever they want in his voice. It's crazy, man. But that is what we have, sadly, all throughout the African continent. As I wind up, we also have...
I want two videos. Two videos I want you to share real quick.
Okay.
All
right. So as we move on, we also have Somali, which is on our report, and the details coming in about Somali is during Trump's time or under Trump's regime, the U.S. strikes on Somali have actually doubled since last year. And this is the question again: if anyone was saying is going to stop the war, what we've been discussing is going to make the situation better, it's not better. They're saying Somali, which is Mogadishu, and in the United States, forever was a major slogan of Donald Trump 2024 election campaign, during which he and many of his supporters spoke out against American resources and lives being put into waste in conflicts across the globe. But in February 1st, a mere 10 days after being inaugurated for a second time, President Trump announced that the U.S. had carried out an airstrike targeting senior leadership of the ISIS in Somali. ISIS, who are the ones, they fund ISIS. We understand this right now. They are the ones funding all this. It's crazy how they are different. Man, it's the names for me, man. They come up with different names. How do you just sit up and come up with these names? And that's it. We're gonna call
try to make them scared. ISIS, Al Qaeda, Al Shabaab. No, Islamic terror. That's the scare of the West, Joe, because it's that dirty Islam, Joby. That dirty Islam. So they know. So they've already propagandized the West to be scared of Islam, Joby. So they'll make them all Islamic groups. That's why they make Al Qaeda. Oh, it's this dirty Muslims with their hijabs on, Joby. With the like little girl showed. I made me wear my hijab on my face. That scares white people in the West, Joby. Oh, these dirty Muslims. Oh, so if they make up these fake groups, they'll support, and not thinking it's actually you the one that created the groups, you the one causing the destabilization in those countries. So
So
there, so
we have ISIS. We have ISIS in Syria. We have ISIS in Somalia. We have how
yeah,
come?
exactly. Joby, like I said, where they getting the money? Where they getting the weapons? And who's funding them? How they getting paid? How they
That's
feeding
what I'm
these
trying to
terrorists?
say.
How did,
I'm trying to say.
did, do,
I'm
do
trying
the
to say.
terrorists got farms? Where the
I'm trying
terrorists
to
feed? Where they eating at?
I'm trying to see how I can rephrase the question on Google. I'm trying to ask Google how much is as America spent on ISIS this particular year itself, but they're not giving me clarity on that. But they're saying this one I'm seeing here. Not sure if it's true. United States spending on Israel military operation related to the U.S. spending on Israel. Is US spending on Israel or US spending on Israel, which also should be a big problem because they're always spending money there, of course. And this money is what funds all these wars. You know, this money buys the weapons, you know, traffics children. This is what they pay the
Yep.
ISIS to traffic children. They pay Al Shabaab to kill women, rape children, go take hold of certain territories and all that. You already sent the videos, my phone went off.
Exactly. Yeah. I sent you that one, Joby. I'm gonna send you this one. And this. Calm down, Jim. I'm gonna pay the lady. She's all right. And this one, Joby. Here we go. What happened? Did I lose Joby? Is it me?
Now, just a minute.
Did I go out? Did Joby go? Oh, okay.
Phone went off, so let me switch it on. You don't know how to share it on Instagram, do you? No.
What's on Instagram?
I'm saying you don't know how to share those videos on Instagram. I would have told you to send them directly on Instagram.
You don't be on no Instagram.
You need to keep up. You need to keep up.
On what? I can't stand Instagram. You need TikTok. TikTok is the thing, not Insta and always around all the middle areas. And you didn't have no Al Shabaab in Mozambique until they found oil, gas, and diamonds. Isn't that amazing?
Breaking.
So,
You're breaking.
damn.
Yeah.
Put us up, Joey, real quick. Can you hear me? Put us up. Say, what is the Christian population of Mozambique? It's the majority. There was no Muslim. There's no Muslims in no damn Mozambique. Now you got Muslim terrorists in Mozambique. Mozambique's a Christian country. Europeans brought Christianity in there. They didn't have no damn Muslims up in there. Maybe 2% of the population. Little nothing. And that a mixture like a Kenya or Ghana would be. It's literally none.
In
That's when they
Mozambique,
got Muslim terrorists.
in
Yeah,
Mozambique, Christians constitute of majority religion, with 60%
exactly.
of the population identifying Christian, and only let me see. According to the U.S. Department of State, within the Christian population, evangelical Pentecostal Christians make up the largest group at 33%, followed by Catholics at 27% and Anglicans at 2%. So majority is Christians. There's no even mentions of Muslims, literally.
I know that, but most people, that's how. Exactly, Joe. That's how you know this Muslim terrorist shit was created by the West. There's no Muslims in fucking Mozambique. So how the hell we got now Muslim insurgents, Joby, and all where they find the oil and diamonds at?
Because we want
It's the
Muslims.
same shit. Oh, it's a Muslim terrorist, Joby. We gotta fight the Muslims. Well, why do Muslims always go where all the oil and all the money shit's at? How did these, like I said, how did these Muslims get through Kenya, Tanzania, with their weapons and reconstitute in Mozambique. Right? Listen, it's the white man. The question, the white man. That's who the terrorist is, the white man. Who did that? The white man. Who did this? The white man. Okay?
Oh.
It's crazy as hell. Terrorism in Mozambique, but it's Islamic. And people in Mozambique like Islamic. I never met an Islamic person in my life. How we got Islamic terrorists up in here now? Because you got oil, moron, and you got diamonds, and they found and they want it. And that's how they destabilize you with that fake terrorism shit. While they steal. That's their people. While they got they're now mining your shit, making billions of dollars, while they run around killing African kids. You're dealing with psychopathy, psychopaths. You're a rich continent. You're the richest continent on the planet. Okay? But you're too weak. So weak people get dominated.
I mean, okay, it is.
Now, even to where you're getting these vast jets that no Africans have. You take some and reverse. Pause it. Now you're getting real military equipment. Shit, now you can take over most of Africa because none of these African nations have no real military, especially no real aircraft, no real air force. None of them do. It's all garbage and packwork shit from Kenya to it's a joke. Kenya to Nigeria, it's a joke. You've been given real weapons that you bought from Russia, who doesn't give them out. Now you take one of those jets, you get your finest engineers, Ibrahim, and you reverse engineer it. You take it apart and you build it back so your engineers know how to make it. That's how China learned how to do it. You reverse engineer it. Then you start developing your own ones even better than this one. You reverse engineer it. You strip it down and you rebuild it. You learn. You get your young engineers, 20, 21 in there, learn how to, okay, this is how this works. 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 And then you put them to the side and they start building their own goddamn shit. You're getting real weapons. Go ahead, Joby.
Okay.
These weapons, right? There's no African, but let me say this real quick. There's no African nation now that can stand up to Burkina Faso with these aircraft. They'll destroy Kenya, Uganda, Nigeria. He's been given the real thing. There's no African military that has these planes. None. Because the European would never sell them to Africans, ever. You always get garbage, old shit, and you don't never develop none of it. So he's been given the real shit. He bought the real shit. Go ahead, Joe.
Straight from Russia. But here's the twist. These jets are not for sale to just anyone. Even Russia's allies can't get them. Vladimir Putin said it himself. These jets never cross the border, except for you, my son, Ibrahim Traore. The Sukhoi 57 can carry over 5,000 liters of fuel, plus 3 extra tanks. It can fly for over 3 hours nonstop and strike at supersonic speed. It can destroy a European base in under 3 minutes. Why do we always mention France? Because France-Afrique is collapsing and Traore is helping bury it. This is no longer the age of fear. Burkina Faso is rising as a real military power. And this is just the beginning. Long live Putin. Long live Ibrahim Traore.
And this destroys the level of power in Africa. Burkina Faso is going to be I'm talking about world. This is world power shit. Not no African nonsense. This is world power shit this young man is doing. This is world power. So there will be no African country that can go against him. He will wipe your ass out. And all he's got to do now is take one of those planes and teach his engineers, you reverse engineer that shit. You learn how to make it yourself. You reverse engineer. No, Russia say, don't mess with my technology. You reverse. You learn like China. China didn't have shit. They reverse engineer. You take one of those planes, you take it apart, and you reverse engineer that shit. And there will be no European power that can invade your ass. You understand this? That's what you do. And you do it unapologetically. Because they're going to come see you. Because now you're getting all your wealth back. They're going to come see you. Oh, you got terrorists or whatever. One plane, you'll wipe out every terrorist out there. Then you go to Mozambique and help them kill everybody, kill every Al-Shabaab on the planet. There is no African country that would be able to stand up to you. They're all weak. They got no real military. You're building a real military. And so I don't got to answer no question to nobody. I'm now dealing with power. You shut your mouth when I walk in the room. I don't want to hear from no fucking dumbass Nigeria, no Kenya, no puppets talk to me. You keep your motherfucking mouth shut. That's why Ibrahim went to Russia. They gave him a limousine. He didn't get on no bus. That's power. You Negroes get on bus because they love disrespecting you in your face, looking like goofballs and morons. I don't respect puppets. But when he got out his limousine, treated like a leader was supposed to be treated, with respect and dignity, and that's how I'm gonna move. I don't go to meet with you puppets, okay? And if you get talking crazy, I can always invade you and overthrow your ass anytime I want. You'll get your fucking mouth right talking to me, okay? Get talking slick to me, I'll overthrow your punk ass.
So sad. We know you can do that. Let me share this last video here.
So the last one I wanted to show you is how before the Africans finally fought in Zimbabwe when it's called Rhodesia, how all these white people, no, these Africans are dumb and stupid. Remember, these are white people who stole Zimbabwe that was called Rhodesia. Zambia and from South Africa, Zimbabwe and Zambia were called Rhodesia, South Africa, and Northern Rhodesia. So these white people stole the country. Like they say, do you think these black people should have a vote? No, they're dumb. I think they're stupid, and they live out in the bush and they're morons. We should have a country.
As I shared, I had an article queued here about deal or not deal. This is Zimbabwe still divided over land, despite this is after 25 years. White farmers being evicted. So they're saying a quarter of a century after their land was seized during a chaotic land reform program.
Their land was seized. You mean the land they stole from the Africans when they invaded their country and colonized it? Their land. So they didn't seize anybody's land. That land was taken back to the people they stole it from. How about that?
They're saying a small group of white Zimbabwean farmers have accepted controversial compensation deal from the government. Once the backbone of the country's agricultural sector, many of them are now elderly, visibly frail, battling illness, and financially desperate. And
no, not financially desperate. Go back to England, goddammit.
One of them says, and I quote, "I believe this is the only opportunity. We can't wait 10 years for another bill." Still recuperating from back surgeries, Mr. Basil was among those who arrived at this year at the conference from the room capital. All that. We know that.
Now understand, Joe, but they're asking for reparations for land that they never bought from nobody. They stole land. I'm giving you money for money that you never paid for. That land they stole the land, Joe. They never paid anybody for that land. Just like in Kenya. At least the white man in Kenya told you the truth. Yeah, we've been over 100 years. Of course we never paid nobody. They ain't pay anybody, Joe. How am I giving you money back for something you never paid for? Go ahead.
So let me share this video.
Your parents have handled the building of this country. I mean, are you critical at all of what your parents, the people in power, have done, let's say, during the last 20 years?
No, I think they've done a very good job when you consider the age of the country.
We did a good job because our country,
say the United States,
we stole it.
which has racial problems far worse than ours.
Can I ask whether you believe in equal rights?
Yes.
Yes, I do. Yes, if everyone's equally educated.
No, they don't.
Yes, I do.
Yes, I think I do.
Yes.
Do you believe in one man, one vote?
No.
Yes, if the people are educated at the same level. At the moment, I don't, because
I remember the black people weren't allowed to go to school in Zimbabwe. I mean, in Rhodesia that time was called, right? So what he's saying is a lie because Africans were not allowed to go to school, so they couldn't be educated. Go ahead, Joker.
Is concerned, the whites are in the majority, and one can't give the vote to uneducated people that they can't use their judgment, they can't assess the situation correctly.
But how can you say that when you also believe in equal rights?
I do believe in equal rights, but do you think rights are equal if you've spent 12 years at school being taught cultural things, science, the arts, and someone comes straight out of a hut in the bush? Do you think he deserves the same rights as you if he had been educated on the same standard? Fair enough.
But then he should have equal educational rights as well, shouldn't he, to enable him to come out of that hut in the
They don't
bush?
have, exactly. They don't have educational rights that you had, that you stole the country and said they couldn't get educated. That's what you white people do everywhere you go. Said people can't claim it.
Let me say it. The Europeans have brought this country to what stage it is at the moment. So surely the Europeans should be educated, since they are the ones that have come and brought the education, since it's their educational system. The African is at the same, some of them are at the same stage now that they might have been several hundred years ago.
Are you critical of the government?
Sometimes, if we have to be.
But broadly speaking, do you think that the government represents the points of view of most of you and your friends?
I think so, yes.
The friend beside you is smiling.
Now remember, these are British who stole the land 100 years ago. That's why the Africans had to fight and get these bastards out of there.
The government had to take over, to just go rock bottom, hit the bottom. Think it would.
Zambia's dropped down because, after all, there was a European government there.
Remember the Zambia. Now, that's what he said. Zambia, who got free before Zimbabwe, changed the name to Zambia. Said there was a European government there, but they dropped down because they got sanctioned. Because the blacks, the no good dirty blacks, took back their land and their country. How dare these dirty Negroes do that? They went down now. What he said?
Came and they tried to kick out all the Europeans, and now look at the country now. Sanctions are backfiring onto them.
Sanctions are backfiring. Now remember, in Zimbabwe and Zambia, black people lived in shit and poverty. And they said, look at it now. Now that they're free and got control of their own country, it's wrong for them to have that. What this psychopath is saying. Go ahead, Joe.
Sanctions have done us, quite a lot of good. Much to the chagrin of the British government. And I would certainly not give any quarter, concerning majority rule.
You don't think there should be majority rule?
Well, I think at the moment, no.
If you had a black African friend,
it's not going to be majority rule because the blacks are the majority. You're the settler. You're the invaders. No, it should be no black rule. I believe in equal rights, but it should be no should be no majority rule because the niggas are the majority. It's their land. So no, we don't want that. We want to come and steal it and live better and have them fucked up. Go ahead, Joe. This is what they think everywhere they go. This is who they are.
I do know one African who I probably respect more than any other person.
He lives in an African country, and he only knows one. I do know one African nigga. I know one, but he's the gardener. He cleans my boots in the morning.
Because he's an intelligent person and his mind is developed. When I speak to him, I speak to an intelligent person, not to an African.
To an equal?
That's an intelligent person, not an African. How much you know what they think of you? That's why they put you on buses, morons. He said, I speak to an intelligent person, not an African. This is what they think.
Africans are not intelligent, huh? That is
what
I was trying to say.
Yes.
It's crazy. But anyway, as we literally come to the end of today's
podcast. This is,
shout out to the white people. They always have something. Wanna play victims? They're the victims of.
Exactly. They're the victim. They come steal your shit. Now I'm old, Chopi. Now I might be decrepit. I need you to pay me for the land that I stole from you. I'm old.
About me, I don't know how to pretend. So you say the truth. I don't know how to pretend to save my life. I can't. I really can't. So you see the truth on your face, and you'll get it on your face either way too. Either you or you get it. You know, if I was like that Zimbabwean guy who came with a truck and then the white people were talking to him crazy.
The guy with he came with the truck and the land. He said, "We're tired of you people." And those are the people he's talking about. That younger, remember? Because I right there, that's 50-something years ago, right there. They're talking to those Zimbabwean white guys, right? Those are the people he's talking about who were ruling over him, Joby.
Exactly. It was too calm. It was just too calm for me. My blood was boiling. I was not the one being my blood was boiling. I'm like, how do you allow this guy to talk to you crazy that you can't come here with that guy? He's in your land. Like, please. I can't be that nice to save myself. You catch me in jail. But anyway, family, much love. Have yourselves a beautiful day. It's been a good conversation. Hope you guys have enjoyed.
We'll be back on tonight, guys. Cause we'll be back on tonight because we missed like 2 days because of the lights being off and the damn trouble yesterday.
Yeah, so we'll do yesterday's show today. So ensure you tune in. I did tell you guys though yesterday on the chat. At least I was responsible enough to tell you. No, we're not gonna do the show, but we're gonna do it today. And of course, I've also told you, if in case you've not subscribed to this channel, this is our backup channel. So kindly ensure you do. The other channel has
You're in the backup channel right now. I don't think you're in the backup channel, Joby.
Yeah, I'm on the Black Hot Fire Network too. So ensure you.
Oh shit! We gotta tell you guys. Well, we're gonna be on the regular channel tonight, so I can tell everybody that we're gonna be on the backup channel for the next 2 months until we get our strikes off.
All right, but I was way ahead of you. But anyway, much love, family. Have yourselves a beautiful day. See you guys, of course, later on the but reaction time. Myself, Kamlesh, and Shumani, and catch up with what we shall be discussing.
Kamlesh made the work? I thought he wasn't gonna make it. Okay.
He had to come with a motorbike, so.
All right, yeah, I'm gonna get shot in the head on the motorbike. I'm on the motor, nigga.
It's coming from far. Like I can try imagine that. I used the border like 2 weekends ago when I was going to do my makeup on the client, and I think
how was that?
I started getting the eyes reaction from because my eyes have been just teary, all this crazy. These people don't have helmets, so if you fall, your head will.
That's what I told you. You can't get me on one of them death bikes. You crazy as hell.
And I was only going a really long distance because I was going like way on Mombasa Road. The way actually is coming from like way past.
Why you didn't take a Matato? Shit, I'm not getting on no death. Joby got on that death bikes with like a mattress before, some whole other crazy shit.
I'd rather use a bike than I'm not really a fan of Matatu because number one, I'm really rude too. If you talk to me rude, I'll be rude. I don't know how to stay calm. That's just my problem. Probably problems in Matatus, especially these conductors. I just rather take it. Then a bike is good. You're gonna go making stories with that guy, like talking. Makanga, these conductors are just full of poverty. Sorry to say.
You guys see how small Joby rode a whole motorcycle with a mattress. Crazy as hell.
Yeah, I'm about to get another mattress for my brother, and that's what I'll be doing on a bike, just like Much love, family. Have yourselves a beautiful, beautiful day.
Much love, guys.
On those other shows, peace.
Never get me on one of them death traps with no helmet. You crazy. See, in Rwanda, you gotta wear a helmet. It's against the law. You can't even operate without a helmet and a vest. I remember Cam.